Welcome back to After the Snap. I am your host, Tasha Pierce, and yeah, we got another week of Star Trek Lower Decks to talk about. This was another crazy one. If you'd like to know exactly what I was thinking as I was watching this week's episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, then let's go. Okay, so in this episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, Boimler is trying to get resettled onto the Cerritos, and he finds that he is locked out of all of the security systems. They are not recognizing his voice patterns or passwords, or he can't do anything on the Cerritos. Like, he can't do anything. We also have Rutherford, who gets like knocked off his feet when he see the Bajoran security officer Shax, who got killed rescuing him in season 1. He's back alive on the ship, and don't nobody seem to be bothered by the fact that this man has risen from the dead. And then Tendi gets an assignment from the doctor to go and retrieve this family heirloom, and she takes Mariner with her. So now we got these 3 different stories going on, and for a 30-minute episode, it does get a little loaded. It gets a little heavy with that much stuff going on. Suffice it to say, because there was so much going on, things got a little muddled. But it wasn't the worst episode of Star Trek Lower Decks that I've ever seen. It was decent for the amount of stuff that was going on in this episode. And I guess what makes this episode pretty okay to me is that we get to know Mariner and Tendi a little bit better. Like, Mariner saying that she served on Deep Space Nine. Now, we saw her in an area that looked like Deep Space Nine in season 1, if I remember correctly, but she actually served there. So that was a surprise. The fact that she also, she confirmed that she is bisexual, which that doesn't bother me, or I don't know if you call that bisexual. She might be pansexual. Anywho, whatever the situation is, the case with Mariner, she opened up, and we learned a whole lot more about her and about Tendi, especially the fact that I didn't know that Tendi had upward mobility on her mind. She seems to be a person who wants to grow with Starfleet, and you can juxtaposition that with Mariner, who seems to be quite happy with just being an ensign. Now, as far as Boimler's little arc, I guess which everyone could see coming after a little while, he was locked out of all the security systems, but his hero, Tom Paris, was visiting the Cerritos, and he was trying to make it to the bridge so that he could meet Tom Paris and show him this commemorative plate that he got from Voy. I don't know if Voy is a thing. I would prefer to just say Voyager. Voy, no. I'm not feeling Voy. It's like calling the Enterprise Ent. Okay, but anywho, we saw the twist coming because he was getting more and more, but he got more and more disheveled as he was crawling through these tubes. And by the time he reaches the bridge to meet Tom Paris, he looks like one of the Kazon. I mean, he really did. And Tom Paris attacks him because PTSD. In the meantime, Rutherford finally, after watching, everybody act like it's perfectly normal for Shax to be back on board the Cerritos after having died in season 1, he was working up the courage to ask, "How the hell are you back, sir?" When he saw somebody else ask that question and get a disciplinary action, he kind of stood back and was like, "No, I ain't gonna ask." And he finally asked, and he get this horrible story of the afterlife that Shax had been through, and he while he got the answer that he was looking for, it fucked with him. It scarred him. It might have messed with him a little bit. So there was that. So, oh, and then the Tendi Mariner thing. That one ended by them finally deciding, hey, we have destroyed this family heirloom that the Dr. Tiana wanted. So we got to come up with a way to make her realize that this wasn't our fault. So they did some old crash into the deflector shield type stuff, only to find out when they brought the box on board finally that all Tiana wanted was the box. She's like any other cat. You could buy them 1,000,006 toys. All they want is the box. You could just go. You could literally just go to the UPS store, get an empty ass box, and the cat was gonna be real. The cat was fine. So all's well that ends well. We learned a lot about Devana Tendi. We learned a lot about Mariner. We got to laugh at Boimler and his mishaps of trying to get to see Tom Paris with the commemorative plate. And we found out why Shax is back, because it was the worst kept secret. He was in the credits. He's been in the credits since episode 1. So we knew he was coming back. We just didn't really know how. This was a very cartoon way to bring somebody back. It's not like he was a live action character like Tasha Yar that we saw be killed, and then we have to explain how we're seeing her again. Nope, he's a cartoon. He could come back. Worked on the bridge, come back. I don't know what's gonna happen with Kayshawn. Kayshawn may be out of a position because Shax is back. But overall, it was a funny episode. I am learning to lean more towards just this is outside of the extremes. Like I told you, the 2 tips to enjoying this series is going to be turning off that brain. Got to keep it off. And also looking for the Easter eggs. And there are plenty of them. I think because I'm in a hurry today, got some place to be. Because I'm in a hurry today, I will do a separate episode about all of the Easter eggs, because talking about Easter eggs in a show that is just crammed with Easter eggs, that could be a show in itself. So we can get 2 videos out of this, right? So overall, I did just like this episode. I didn't love it. I liked it. So there was enough there to satiate the relatable me, the person, the unfunny Tasha, and also there was a lot there for the slapstick people, and I can't wait to do this Easter egg thing, because there was something that I didn't notice, but I heard another podcast talking about this subject, and it was something, of course, and when we discuss it further, you're gonna be like, how did you not see that? I didn't see it though, and if you saw it, you guys are fantastic, because I didn't even look at it like that. But so another story, that's just to get you excited for the Easter egg video. As for this episode, we'll always have Tom Paris. I like the Paris thing. I like Tom Paris thing. I liked the Rutherford situation, but I found myself drawn mostly to the Thelma and Louise, Tendi and Mariner, and their adventures, because they actually saw some sights and did some things and got in some action, and I enjoyed it. I wish that we would have had an episode that focused more on each one of these things, like the Tom Paris and the Shax is back. That could have been one episode, but this Tendi Mariner thing, I wish we could have leaned into just a little bit more. There's always something like that. 30-minute show, whole hell of a lot going on. Not enough time to focus too heavily on one of the plots because there was so much happening. But for the most part, I thought this was an enjoyable episode. There's nothing that I could nitpick a whole lot about. I could, but again, 30-minute episode, animated series, brain turned off. So I enjoyed it. If I have to give this a rating, which of course I do, so if I have to give this a rating on my 5-point scale, I would say 3.5. 3.5, and I wish that we could have gotten a little bit more from each of the subplots of this episode. That's why my rating is a 3.5. The Tendi and Mariner part of the story took it from being a 3 to a 3.5. Especially when we get into Easter eggs in the next video, where the one thing that just did not stand out to me should have stood out to me. And I'm glad I'm teasing again. So yes, there's the Easter egg video. I will be putting that one up, I'm going to say Sunday, because this is a jam-packed weekend. I got a date with the Candyman in about half an hour, so I got to run. But it's been fun talking to you all today. Please do me the honor of letting me know your thoughts on the episode in the comments below, and maybe I'll share some of your thoughts as well in the Easter egg thingy. Also, don't forget to join me on Saturday for the weekly wrap-up live stream that I'm going to be doing every Saturday. There's things to talk about. There was a big event in Las Vegas for movie heads and CinemaCon, and just in case you didn't know. And we'll be talking about a lot of the stuff that was presented there. Also, please hit the subscribe button so you'll know every single time I post a video. If you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, duh, Tasha. Last but not least, I'm doing a Candyman review. I'm not going to do it on YouTube. I'm going to do it over on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, please do so. It's After the Snap, Movies and TV on Facebook, 7 o'clock tonight. I will be doing a live review of the Candyman movie. And pray for me, because I'm a punk and I'm very scared of this type of stuff. But here I am going. So let me know what you think about the episode. We'll always have Tom Paris. I appreciate you for joining me, and I've had fun as usual. I got one more thing for you, and that is live long and prosper. Peace.